The Israeli Mediterranean seaside town of Netanya is not exactly the French Riviera, but it is a highly popular destination for new French immigrants to Israel. The ever-expanding stretch of waterfront high-rises is a clear indication of its rapid growth and booming development, and evidence that French Jewry is moving to Israel in increasing numbers. Many simply no longer feel safe in France.
Something that happened in France once when I came back from the synagogue after the afternoon prayers. There was somebody shouting, "Allahu Akbar, I'm going to kill you and your wife and your children," and doing the cutting your throat sign. And I realized it's time to move on and go to Israel and take my children, my family to a place where we can feel safe.
According to the Jewish Community Security Service report, anti-Semitism in France doubled in 2014, with violent anti-Semitic actions increasing by 130%. Although the Jewish community represents less than 1% of France's citizens, they have become the target of half of all the racist acts committed in France. The result? French immigration to Israel is growing exponentially.
So over the past decade or so, Aliyah, or immigration from France to Israel, has been roughly stable at about 2,000 people a year. So that in 2012, it was also at about 1,900, which is consistent with the previous few years. But by 2013, we saw the numbers shift and increase in a very significant extent to the point where we were at 3,400 just in that year. And then by 2014, the number had jumped again to 7,300. Which is a very, very significant increase, and we expect that that increase will continue for the foreseeable future.
If the exponential growth of French Aliyah continues, the yearly total of French immigration to Israel is estimated to peak at 15,000 by the end of 2015. Whether secular or religious, as a whole, the Jewish community in France is being harassed by anti-Semitism. The more identifiably Jewish, such as the ultra-orthodox community, tend to experience it more.
Europe, I wonder why Jewry still feels comfortable living there. Because walking in the streets when I go to France, I feel very uncomfortable. I get spat at on some occasions. I get shouted at on some occasions. That includes also the UK. And I don't think it's very safe.
With large families and small incomes, the ultra-Orthodox often discover that returning to their ancient homeland presents a daunting financial challenge. Some, like Rev. Mordecai Linhard, president of Lech Lecha Europe, a Jewish charity that assists families desiring to move to Israel, are finding the much-needed financial help from a seemingly unlikely source, evangelical Christians. According to Debbie Kellogg, co-founder of the Cyrus Foundation, helping the Jewish community return to Israel is not an option. It's a mandate for Christians.
Many times when we help a family, they will know we're Christians. They'll say, "Why do you want to help us? Why do you as Christians want to help us?" And they start weeping on the phone and just wondering, you know, in the past you've hated us and called us Christ killers, but now you want to help us to go home. And it really is a healing time for both of us as we help them and, in a sense, fulfill Isaiah 49, where it says that we should carry them in our arms and on our shoulders back to the land of Israel. And in a comforting, gentle way, show them the love of God that we have for them, and He has for them, of course. Christians definitely have an opportunity right now at this time in history to really affect Israel and the Jewish people.
That opportunity is only expected to escalate in the days ahead.
I spoke to a survivor of the Shoah who used to live in Poland, and what he said when he sees the news and what happens, he says it really reminds him of the pre-war Holocaust period. And when it comes out of the mouth of a Holocaust survivor who went to Auschwitz, I think nothing has to be said. You know, if he says it resembles, it must be.
Marnie Blom, Axe News Network, Israel.
Acts News Network.
Contagious disease
From
attacking
Jerusalem
the cities
to the
in
nations.
northern Israel. This morning, Hamas fired a rocket
The
that
news.
hit the school.
What's
North
really
African
important?
and Middle
It's now
Eastern
80%
nations
of the
were
Council's
inflamed.
resolutions are against Israel.
Visit Acts News Network. Accessible, informative, inspiring.
Future peace negotiations, Jerusalem is so central to the Jewish people.
Celebrating life. Preparing for war. Acts News Network. Online with the Times.